Somebody mentioned in the comment section on my videos that some group in this country stopped Raila Amolo Odinga from becoming the president of this country. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Actually, even 4 times, some of them are saying. I want to say categorically here that it is not any group that stopped Raila Amolo Odinga from becoming the president of this country. And I want to show you clearly on the mistakes that happened, particularly in 2022, that resulted to Raila Amolo Odinga losing the election to President William Arap Samoei Ruto. But before I do so, kindly, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please, I want to thank you so much. Kindly subscribe, like and comment, because that is the best support can always give this channel. Join me in my journey to 2,000 subscribers. Now, for those who have been coming back, actually I usually see like almost 1,000 plus of you. Please, thank you so much, and kindly keep following, because that is still the best support can always give this channel. For those who want to interact with me, my number is on my bio. Just click there at my my profile of YouTube, and you'll be able to find my number there. Interact with me on WhatsApp. You can call me so that we share on various topics and learn and teach me further on how I can always do the best analysis right here. Now, let me dive into the topic today. Now, Raila Amolo Odinga had one of the best chances to win the elections in this country, and I think, according to me, it was the last shot that he had. But he fired that shot the wrong way. Why am I saying so? There are so many things that happened during Raila Amolo Odinga's times as a presidential candidate that I feel were the things that contributed to Raila Amolo Odinga losing the election. The first one of all in the list, it's egocentrism. What do I mean by this? Egocentrism simply is where you think about yourself alone and forget about the Kenyans. When it comes to Raila Amolo Odinga's reference, of course. So Raila Amolo Odinga took his interests first and forgot about the Kenyans who gave him that position. What do I mean by this? Don't take me wrong by this. Raila Amolo Odinga, after 2017 elections, he saw in himself to become the people's president, and later on, now he had a handshake with the former president the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So after the handshake, Raila Amolo Odinga got the opportunity to be closer to his political competitor, and who was the sitting president by that time. So they decided to work together as a team until 2022. So when Raila Amolo Odinga got into that seat, into that position of being close to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Kenyans had this expectation that at least now, all those things that Raila Amolo Odinga has been talking about, he's going to share with Uhuru Kenyatta, and we're going to have this country fixed. And actually, as I think personally, that is the last time he had the best chance, the golden chance to fix this country. Because Uhuru Kenyatta was a listening president. If at all he was supposed to deliver for this country based on Raila Amolo Odinga's ideologies, he could have done that. So when Raila Amolo Odinga had an opportunity to have a conversation or even a platform with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, so many bad things happened that did not augur well the common man. One of them is the cost of living. We have to admit here that during that time, the cost of living went high. Actually, Kenyans even bought unga at almost 250 shillings. Just high, such high. The cost of oil went up. The cost of fuel went up. I mean, the country, we felt like things are not going on the right direction. We even realized that during that time, the best things that were happening is the constructions that were happening in the country because of the loans that were borrowed. But the loans were borrowed beyond the capacity of the Kenyan to hold and even pay back these loans. So in real sense, during that time, Raila Amolo Odinga did not take his time to engage his brother, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and tell him here and here is what you need to correct. This and that is what needs to be done so that we can have Kenyans having a better life. But he didn't do that. Instead, Raila Amolo Odinga was funded to push for the BBI in the country. He was later on funded to move around the country collecting what we call ideas or maybe opinions of Kenyans on various aspects, and eventually culminated to his campaign in 2022. So he forgot the Kenyans but put his interest first. First, being supported to push the BBI. Second of all, being supported to also do his campaigns across the country. Now, people could be asking, the BBI was for the people. I agree. But the BBI, it is very clear that if it was for the people right now, it could be running. It could be implemented as we speak right now. Because if it had everything that was best for the Kenyan Mwananchi, that means that even the law was supposed to be followed and that it could have completely and successfully gone through. But despite Uhuru being the president, being next to Raila Amolo Odinga again, still it did not go through. So that means very well that it was unconstitutional. And if there were deficits when it comes to the law, why could they have fixed it if they wanted it to go through? those are some of the pertinent questions we asked about the BBI, because even in the National Assembly, lawyers like Otienda Molo raised complaints about some specific aspects of BBI, but they did not listen. Why did they ignore that part? Yet they knew the law is there and it can be stopped in the courts. In simple terms, the BBI, in short, it was used just to popularize Raila Amolo Odinga and rebrand him again. Okay, it was an entry of Raila Amolo Odinga to the mountain region. Why? BBI was becoming like Raila Amolo Odinga is championing for the interest of the people of the mountain, and now therefore, because actually after, if BBI could have passed, Raila Amolo Odinga could have, okay, there could be more constituencies added in the mountain, and there could be more resources, particularly money going to the mountain because of the population of that region. Now, as a result of that, BBI could have made Raila Amolo Odinga a hero to some extent, and to the people of Mount Kenya, they could have supported him. But now, because they did not follow the law, it was kicked out, and Raila Amolo Odinga's entry to the mountain became hell. It became difficult for him to sail through the mountain. Anyway, that is what I mean by a mistake, Raila being egocentric. Another thing I want to say here is one thing: the campaign strategy. I have to admit here that the campaign strategy of Raila Amolo Odinga was very poor. There are things that they did, we can say categorically, that were good, but there are most of them that I want to point out here today that really led to Raila and Azimio downfall. The first one is Martha Karua. Martha Karua, yes, bringing a lady on board was one of the best things to bring in the youth, the ladies on board to vote for their fellow, and ensure at least there is also representation being achieved, the equal representation being achieved in the highest level of office. But now there's something we need here. Why was Martha Karua brought in? Martha Karua was not just for women. She was also brought in to bring the mountain votes. But instead, Martha Karua concentrated outside the mountain. He was moving to Elgeyo Marakwet, moving to Eldoret, moving to Mombasa, following Raila Amolo Odinga from right, left, and center, and they forgot to campaign in the mountain. And as a result, Rigiji went and became the grassroots mobilizer. All over the mountain, the story was about Rigiji, and the results can confirm this, because Raila Amolo Odinga, despite getting 1 million votes, Martha Karua did not bring anything significant, especially from her region, that is Kirinyaga County. So therefore, that is also a big mistake they did as far as the campaigning is concerned. Other thing I want to say here, Raila Amolo Odinga's politics was all about making kingpins. He made kingpins from the coast, for instance, from Western again, and many other parts of this country. But these kingpins, Raila did not use them well to get votes from that region. For instance, let's go and talk about Joho. Joho was from the coast, and he was brought there as a kingpin from the coast. You cannot get votes by just appearing in Raila Amolo Odinga, yet you're not coming from Nyanza. Nyanza, it's where it happened that way, particularly Luo Nyanza. In the coast, the only thing that Joho could have done, whenever Raila Amolo Odinga moved to the rest of the country, he went to the coast, concentrated to the regions, particularly Mombasa, Kilifi, Malindi, Mombasa, Kilifi, Kwale, and ensure at least Lamu, all those regions, there's proper campaign, proper strategies that have been put there to ensure people have come out to vote, have registered as voters, and they have voted for Raila Amolo Odinga. But instead, they all followed Raila Amolo Odinga across the country as they left Ruto's lieutenants fixing the coast. And you can see the percentage of votes that William Ruto got from the coast. So therefore, in such a case, can you blame Raila? Can you blame really someone else for Raila Amolo Odinga's loss? No. We simply blame his strategy in campaigning, because you find that Raila Amolo Odinga comes to Kisii. Yes, so many politicians from outside Kisii who are talking, even those from the region did not even get a chance to speak, and you realize that the people of that region, the locals, are not well convinced to vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. So that was one of the biggest mistakes, not utilizing his kingpins very well. Could they have not utilized them well, by now Raila Amolo Odinga could have become a president in this country. Why am I saying that he failed? Look at you guys when Raila Amolo Odinga, not even after elections now, Raila Amolo Odinga had lost, and there were campaigns for the gubernatorial seat of Mombasa and of course Kakamega County. During that time, the ODM lieutenants, without Raila Amolo Odinga, they went and campaigned immensely in these regions. They had various tactics to ensure that people have come out to vote, and they won these seats immensely. That means very well it's something they could have done before, and they could have won, and William Ruto could have gotten very few votes from these kind of regions because they were strongholds for Azimio. But now their exit and moving to other parts of the country enabled Ruto to intrude, use his allies, and ensure that they have gotten into the grassroots, and therefore resulted to him having so many votes from these regions. So that is really wrong, because they gave William Ruto room to intrude to their backyards. Now, other thing I want to say here, their utterances. For instance, this gentleman called Junet Mohammed. Junet Mohammed, one time in Kisii in Mongori, went and said that the people of Central now, you've been in government saying you mtaka kando kwanza. That is simple incitement, telling the people that even if we don't vote, even if you've given your deputy president, you'll be aside. So therefore when you win the government mtakuwa kando kwanza. That was very wrong. You cannot have such careless sentiments when you want someone to help you. The same person, you cannot actually show some discrimination to this person. So therefore, or sidelining in any way, you have to beg and go to these people and ask for them for votes in a humble way. So long as you unaonyesha kiburi, the people of Central will never vote for you. I know that. Another thing that I realized that was also another problem, it was poor mobilization of the voter registration. Why am I saying this? If you go to Nyanza, for instance, Luo Nyanza to be specific, this is the time when they were supposed to come out in large numbers and vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. But to my surprise, the turnout was low, first of all. The second thing we realized from Luo Nyanza, even the voter turnout was low and the registration itself was very low. People, not so many new voters registered during the 2022 elections. And actually, to make matters more worse, there was no serious campaigns of Raila Amolo Odinga or even his lieutenants to tell their people to go and vote, register, like they do in Central Kenya. So they just left them. Raila Amolo Odinga went out 1 or 2 times there before the elections. Before even the campaigns kicked off. And we didn't see proper registration of people from that region. And the result, the votes that came out were not even enough to prepare Raila Amolo Odinga. Even the voter turnout now, for those who are registered, eligible to vote, still they did not come out 100%, even 80% to come and vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. So that affected generally the entire numbers that were supposed to go to Raila Amolo Odinga's side. And of course, you can see the margin that was defeated by William Ruto is quite small because of such kind of mistakes. And that thing I want to say here, Raila Amolo Odinga did one simple thing. He over-relied on Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta was outgoing president. He could not be very active in politics. So he gave Raila Amolo Odinga the resources, platform, security, and many other aspects to ensure that at least he has gotten his votes. And actually even brought 1-point-something million votes from Central Kenya, which Raila had never received before. But to my surprise, Raila Amolo Odinga was contented that they'll win and Uhuru Kenyatta will help. On a what basis? Elections are won on the ballot, but now Raila Amolo Odinga concentrated in Nairobi and other parts of the country, even went to KICC to prepare for swearing-in ceremony, for celebrating their win, yet they had not won. That was one of the biggest mistakes that Raila Amolo Odinga did. Another thing I did is that Raila Amolo did not fix the AIBC. Raila Amolo Odinga kept telling us the IBC is not good. The IBC needs to be fixed. But still Chebukati was there, and later on, after the 2022 elections, we had Raila Amolo Odinga complaining of the same IBC case that he had been complaining in other 3 or past 4 elections. So therefore, it is very wrong to have a chance to fix IBC, then they did not fix, later on come to complain. That is one of the most serious mistakes that they made. Another thing I want to say here, it is one simple thing. Now, the IBC Cherera 4 were the people who were selected to go and fight for Raila Amolo Odinga within the IBC. But that was wrong. We should not do things from that perspective. The Cherera could not do anything, yet they knew very well the powers were Chebukati. Even during the elections when they're being announced, despite disagreeing, you can see they did not stop the announcement of the results because the chairman was the one who was bestowed the powers to do so. So therefore, Raila Amolo Odinga had a wrong strategy as far as approaching the elections in this country are concerned, and that is how he lost the seat. I don't know what is your opinion. Can if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support can always give this channel. If you want to interact with me, my number is in my bio. Please can reach out or even talk to me in any way.